Okay, we got some more QB Reader. This time I am going to do. Literature. And yep, I think I'm gonna just do literature in general. And literature is a very broad category, so a lot of authors, a lot of books, a lot of works, a lot of time periods, so this could go in any direction. We shall see how it goes. So let's start. Okay. Answer some questions about novelist Naguib Mahfouz. Mahfouz wrote a sequel companion to this classic short story collection of Arabic literature. That's going to be Shahrazad Sinbad, yep, Arabian Nights, or 1001 Nights. And then we'll get Mahfouz's Miramar is set in this Egyptian city where the home city of Constantine P. Cavafy, Lawrence Delroy Quartet, Alexandria. And then the original title of Mahfouz's allegory, Children of Gebelawi, refers to one of these places. One of Mahfouz's most famous early novel depicts one of these places named Medoc and its many inhabitants. Okay, let's try Oasis. It was Alley. Okay. Alright. An affair in this novel produces the perpetually sick baby who wants to eat a roast lizard before she learns that doing so well will make ants crawl around inside her. That is disgusting. Name this novel that depicts rebels like Major Madu and the poet Okioma. In this novel, Ogwu receives an education that learns to make jollof rice, which becomes the houseboy of the revolutionary intellectual Odenigbo. So this is clearly Nigeria. So I'm gonna say this could be Things Fall Apart, or it could be a Ngozi Adichie work or a Wole Soyinka work. So I am gonna say Things Fall Apart, Half of Yellow Sun, Purple Hibiscus. I am going to say, let's go with Purple Hibiscus. Damn it, it was Half of Yellow Sun. I picked the wrong one. Half of Yellow Sun written by this Nigerian author, Adichie. And then Adichie's former mentee, Akweke Emezi, criticized her brand of feminism for omitting these people. Adichie also defended J.K. Rowling, who has been called an exclusionary radical feminist for views on these people. Alright, yeah. It's gonna be Igbo or Yoruba. There was trans women. Oh, I should have got that one because J.K. Rowling, feminist for reviews on. Yeah, of course. I didn't get my mind was still in Nigeria. Alright, Horace Vandergelder is the title character of this author's play, The Merchant of Yonkers. Name this playwright who wrote about Emily Webb's brief return to Grover's Corner in Our Town, Thornton Wilder. And then this is the name of the horse-owning local milkman in Our Town. Not Milkman Dead, that's Toni Morrison. I can't remember his name. Howie Newsom. This one play is about the Antrobus family and its first act plays in Dawn of New Iceland. It's probably wrong, but Bridge of San Louis Ray. It was The Skin of Her Teeth. Okay. In this book, a religious address titled Father Maple's Sermon, served by Queequeg Ishmael, Wayland's Chapel. Named this novel by Herman Melville. Moby Dick. This is most definitely a high school packet. Moby Dick. It's hard to type. It's so strict that you only get 10 seconds to type in this answer. The Pequod's captain is this monomaniacal figure whose leg was bit off. That's Captain Ahab. And then Moby Dick also kills this other character before the novel's conclusion. So, yeah, what's the guy's name? Yeah, Queequeg. It's not Queequeg. What's his name? Is it Jim or Fedallah? Okay. This author describes this creature that consumes its heart and proclaims, "I like it because it is bitter and because it is my heart." Identify this author who used the clash and clash of horse and hoof to invoke the ride of sin in his poem Black Riders Came from the Sea. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that one. Stephen Crane, okay. Crane being for this Civil War novel, Red Badge of Courage. And then in this Stephen Crane short stories, Strike G. Wilson, defined not to shoot Marshall Parr to the latter man reveals that he's married in San Antonio. What's that title called? I can't remember the name of that. It was The Bridge Comes to Yellow Sky. The rebellious protagonist of this story sees a mysterious man in a convertible who says, "Gonna get you, baby." Name the short story in which 15-year-old Connie is visited by Arnold Friend, the man that she goes for a ride with him. Okay, Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been? Written by this American author of Belle Fleur and We Were the Mulvaneys, Joyce Carol Oates. The Accursed is considered parts of Oates' saga of this genre. The genre of fiction is characterized by horror and anti-heroes and is exemplified by Matthew Lewis's The Monk in Horsewaffle's Castle of Otranto Gothic. Okay, the Irving Berlin track always plays during these events, which one character uses to gather information for his novel The Unseen. Then name these events that Madame Arcati puts on for the Brandmans and the Condamines and No Accounts played by the Spirit. Seances? Yeah. Charles Condamine's dead while Elvira comes back in the seance through Edith, the character with this profession. Another play character with this profession blackmails a co-worker with letters from Mario the Milkman. This is going to be completely wrong, but I'm going to say Gravedigger, because I think that's made, of course. It was made by Jean Genet again. Oh my god. This playwright directed a revival of Coward's Blithe Spirit for the National Theatre in 1976, and then Birthday Party and Dumbwaiter, Harold Pinter. And then let's go next. In this work, there are two assistants, lip nippers and turkey, one who works well in the morning and the other who works well in the afternoon. Name this work about former employee, the dead letters officer. Says this is going to be a postman always rings twice. Bartleby the Scrivener. Bartleby the Scrivener appeared in Piazza Tales by this author, Herman Melville. And then Melville also wrote about the 50 years exile of this actual American figure, soldier in the American Revolution captured by the British, and then worked as an American spy. They want Benedict Arnold, or no, or is it, or is it Nathan Hale? Okay, Israel Potter, okay. An unnamed father and son travel through a post-apocalyptic United States in this multiple surreal novel. The Railroad, Cormac McCarthy. And this novel by Jeffrey Eugenides, Middlesex, or is it Virgin Suicides? Transsexual Cal, surely it's Middlesex. This man's 2007 novel, The Tree of Smoke, won the National Book Award. Oh, what's his name? Dennis Johnson. Okay. In this novel, in a novel by this author, Laurent is bitten on the neck while drowning the title character's husband in the Seine. For 10 points each, name this French author whose includes Teresa Raquin and his Rougon Macquart style. He also denounced the anti Semitism of Dreyfus Fair and the Zilage of Cools, Emile Zola. And then in the Zola novel, Etienne Lantier, Social Milieu, this is gonna be, what's that one called? Germinal. And then this character from the Rube McHart cycle is courtesan actresses rise to fame in her role in the Blonde Verses, but eventually dies of smallpox. What's her name? I can't remember her name. What's her name? Nana Copeau. Creature in this poem threatens to, in a yawn, swallow the world. Name this poem that lists Foley Arison Everest before describing Ennui, who dreams of scaffolds as he smokes his hookah pipe. This poem refers to its addressee as Hypocrite and my brother. No, I can't think of it. To the reader. The speaker calls Ennui more ugly, more wicked, more filthy than all other vices to the reader, which is in the opening point of this seminal poetry collection by Baudelaire. Let's go with, what's that one called? Is it called oh my god, what's that called? Something Flowers or something. Les Fleurs de Mal. Yeah, Flowers of Evil. I was trying to pull that one out. In the poem title for one of these events from Les Fleurs de Mal, the speaker wishes to brighten the ennui of her prisoners, but sees an oasis of horror in a desert of ennui. The speaker imagines a place where there's only order, beauty, luxury, peace, and pleasure. In another poem title for one of these events. Let's try Funeral. There's Voyage. Okay. Oh, yeah. Alright. In one novel by this man, Captain Porteous is lynched after shooting into a crowd at the old toll booth. Name this author who featured Jean Dean's quest to save her sister Effie in the heart of Midlothian, Sir Walter Scott. And then this author kidnapped, wrote Jim Hawkins, Robert Louis Stevenson. And then this other Scottish novelist included Rose and Sandy among a set of 6 school girls taken under the wing of the title teacher and Primus Jean Brodie, Muriel Spark. And let's go next. The book was defaced by Edmund Blunden, who objected to its contents. Name this autobiography, mostly focusing on the author's service in World War I, written by the author of The White Goddess. Alright, let's go with Anthem for Doomed Youth. And goodbye to all that. Yeah, okay, this author of I, Claudius, is Robert Graves. And then this woman, Graves' lover, collaborated with him on service of modernist poetry. She wrote The Telling and the Close Chaplet. No answer. Laura Riding. Okay. In this novel, a publisher named Rick Vigorous receives a story about a man with second-order vanity, meaning that, in addition to being vain, he's also vain about appearing to have an utter lack of vanity. Name this novel about Lenore Beedsman, I've heard that name before, who owns a talking bird named Vlad the Impaler that tries to find her missing grandfather. Oh, shoot. Yeah, is this Name of the Rose? Broom of the System. Okay, it was Mandela Effect, apparently. Lenore travels to this state to visit her brother, who is nicknamed Antichrist. You know what? You know why I said Name of the Rose for the previous one? Because I was thinking of Foucault's Parrot, which is another Umberto Eco novel. Or no, Foucault's Pendulum is another Umberto Eco novel. Foucault's Parrot is a French author. I forgot who wrote it, but I'm getting so many things mixed up today. Okay, nicknamed Antichrist, another novel. This state is home to a radio show by a pretty skull of all time. Enfield. I don't know. California. Like, no idea. It was Massachusetts. Okay. Both The Broom in the System and the aforementioned novel Infinite Jest, David Foster Wallace. Okay. In this novel, the Albert Camus stand-in Henri Perrin edits the Let's Wing newspaper L'Espoir. Named this novel, which Anne de Breuil has an affair with the American writer Louis Brogan during her involvement with a group of French intellectuals in years after World War II. Yeah, so it's not The Stranger. Could be the could be The Fall, or the Myth of Sisyphus, or what's the other one called? No, it's not The Plague. Let's go. Yeah, let's go with The Fall. There's The Mandarins. Okay, a steamy romance with Nelson Algren inspired the central. The Mandarins, which was written by this French novelist, is better known for non-fiction works on the ethics of ambiguity. Who do I want to go with? Let's go with Michel Foucault. It was Simone de Beauvoir. I thought Simone de Beauvoir, but yeah. Simone de Beauvoir, yes, If We Must Burn This Author in an essay analyzing his works, Justine Marquis de Sade. In a 17th century supplement to this novel, the main characters are subjected to bizarre dreams by a spirit whose name translates roughly to fish, spirit of sexual desire. Named this Chinese novel about motley trio who accompany the monk Tenzing on the title expedition. What's that called? Alright, Title Expedition, Journey to something, I can't think of. Journey to the West, I knew that! Should have got that one. In Journey to the West, Sun Wukong, given his magical shape-changing staff by the King of the Eastern Sea, who is one of these creatures. Tang Sinzang rides a white horse, who is also one of these creatures. Okay, what is it, dragon? Okay. The aforementioned spin-off is based on an episode where Sun Wukong turns into a fly and enters a demon's body to beat her up, so that she will give up one of these items, which allows the group to pass flaming mountains. Yeah, I got nothing. I was a fan. Okay. Madame Delisa's servant, Mana Luilo, tells a tale about the Tile Princess and her short story, La Belle Zoraide. Named this American author of The Storm and Athanase, who wrote a story in which Armand Burns of the Belongs Desiree, because he falsely believes she was black. Okay, well, this is going to be an African American author. What do I want to say? Let's go with James Baldwin. And it was Kate Chopin. Okay, Kate Chopin wrote about this woman, The Awakening. Oh my god, I forgot her name. I literally just looked at her name because she appears on the frequency list, but I can't remember her name. Edna Pontellier. Chopin also wrote this story ending when Louise Mallard dies in the heart attack when she sees her husband Brentley after being told he died in a train crash. I know this title. It's like something baby or something baby. Story of an Hour. Okay, that's not what I was thinking of, but okay. The narrator of a poem repeatedly exclaims, "I don't want to see the body of one of these people who looked for dawn through the dawn was no more." Name this type of person whose death due to the wounds that burned like suns occurred at 5 in the afternoon, and a poem whose narrator sings his elegance with a whimper warns. This type of person, yeah, what is it? Bullfighter. And Lament for Death of a Bullfighter is an elegy written by the Spanish author. This author's other works include Blood Wedding and House of Bernard Alba, Federico Garcia Lorca, Federico Garcia Lorca. It's such a pain that you have to okay, because it wanted me to type in Garcia Lorca, but giving me just 10 seconds to write such a long answer is such a pain in the ass. This English youth, the title character of a semi-autobiographical narrative poem of Lord Byron, which watches a bull killed by Matador and Cadiz. Yeah, this is Childe Harold. Harold, there we go. Okay, the protagonist is profoundly affected when he witnesses a woman jumping off a bridge. Name this novel about Jean-Baptiste Clement, a Parisian lawyer with a tarnished reputation. It is structured in a series of monologues to a stranger in an Amsterdam bar. Okay, yeah, can't think of it. Is it? That one was The Fall. Oh my god. This author, the author of The Fall, also wrote this novel, Mersault and Mother's Death, The Stranger. The title, Disease, infects the inhabitants of Oran. This author's novel, The Plague, Albert Camus. The last stanza of this poem contains an apostrophe to cold pastoral, while I.A. Richards argued that its final aphorism showed that poets do not always mean what they say. Name the ode addressed to a classical vase. T.S. Eliot believed that Keats actually did mean its final lines, which one, beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That's going to be, that is all you know. That's, Endymion. There's Ode to Grecian Urn. Damn it. This writer discussed the double plot in Alice in Wonderland in their book Some Versions of Pastoral. This writer defended the success of Milton's Paradise Lost in their book Milton's God. Okay, I mean, like, Ode to Grecian Urn, it's gonna be Keats. No, I have no idea who that person is. Okay. Shelley's pastoral elegy, Adonais, on the death of Keats was modeled on this Milton poem, Death of Edward King. Yeah, what's that one called? Shoot. I'm gonna know it when I see it. I can't remember what it's called. Lycidas, yeah. A poem addressed to this man describes how Gallic powers found Columbia's fury, offering the same fate to those who would dare disgrace the land of freedom's heaven-defended race. Identify this military leader and politician who is described as a great chief with virtue and nice in that 1775 poem. So is this going to be freedom's heaven-defended Gallic powers. This military leader. I mean, Gallic France versus Vercingetorix. This is going to be completely wrong. It was George Washington. I thought it was George Washington, but I was like, that's so early to write a poem about him. I mean, oh my god. To His Excellency John Washington was written by this early African American poet, Phillis Wheatley. And then the dismissal of her poems by Thomas Jefferson was among the titular trials endured by Wheatley, discussed in a 2003 book by this Harvard scholar, In Search of Her Roots and Signifying Monkey, Alex Haley. Henry Louis Gates Jr., of course. The narrator asserts that knowing the author's subtle sense of harmonic balance, this line would have completed the symmetry of the structure of the poem it belongs to. Describe this line of poetry that was left unwritten because its author was shot by the supposedly insane assassin Jack Gray, who was actually aiming for a former king. What do they want? Like, eulogy? What the heck? Last line of Pale Fire. Oh, Vladimir Nabokov. The fictional Charles Kinbote argued that the unwritten 1000th line mirrored first line about the waxing slain John Shade's poem Pale Fire, which is this author, Vladimir Nabokov. And then this poet's image of an owl banking to pass the window glass inspired the waxwing slain by the window pane. Michael Wood compared Shade's richly rhymed line to inspire this writer's poem design. I've got nothing. It was Robert Frost, yeah. Female protagonist of a play based on this character becomes a general of Zanzibar after her breasts float away like balloons. Oh my god. Name this man whose title that plays by Gilliam Apollinaire, which is credited with coining the term surrealism. And it's the the fire sermon in the section T.S. Eliot's the wasteland. Yeah, I knew this at one time, but I can't remember the title. Tiresias, yeah. Jean Anouilh removed Tiresias from his 1944 adaptation of this Greek play, paralleling Vichy, France. In this Sophocles play, Tiresias predicted Creon's son Haemon will die after the title heron is published by Bronner. It's going to be Lysistrata. No, you idiot, that's Aristophanes. No. It's Antigone. Yes, punished for burying her brother. Oh my god. Antonin Artaud played Tiresias in this other author's version of Antigone. Tiresias is nicknamed Zizi by Jocaste in this author's rendition of the Oedipus myth titled The Infernal Machine. Is this Kazantzakis? Jean Cocteau. Yeah, I should have thought, because these were all French authors, yeah. In Chinese myth, these creatures are generals who guard the Dragon Kings. Another mythical example of these creatures aided the Hydra by attacking Hercules' foot. Name these creatures. The latter was put among the stars by Hera after Hercules crushed it. That's the scorpion. Crab. I knew it was a crustacean. I picked the wrong one. Zapakna's hunger for crabs is exploited by his slayers Xbalanque and Hunahpu in this Maya mythical text preserved by the Dominican priest Francisco Jimenez. Yeah, this is wrong, but Zolkin is Popolvor. Yeah, who knew? Xibalba has 3 of these entities, one making up the scorpions, and other mythicals. Examples of these include Phlegethon. Let's try heads. Rivers. Oh. Okay, this is discovering this answer saves the life of a knight who raped a maiden for temptation. What? That's a glitch. Woman wants sovereignty. Yeah, that's a glitch. The aforementioned story is a tale told by the wife of Bath in this collection, Canterbury Tales. And then another story from the Canterbury Tales. The partner tells of 3 young men who set out to kill this being only to get distracted by a treasure and then killing each other. To kill this being is going to be dragon, like St. George and the Dragon. Okay, kill death. That's strange. Minor characters in this play include the talkative Sir and Lady Politic Would-Be. Name this play in which the title character, aided by Mosca, pretends to be dying to fool Voltaire, Corbaccio, and Corvino, who won his fortune. Let's go with 6 characters and search for an author. Search. Volpone, yep. This dramatist, Ben Jonson. And then Little Wit and his friends plot to win Dame Purecraft's end of this Johnson comedy is going to be The Alchemist. Bartholomew Fair. Okay. This term first appeared in an essay that opens with the scene of Thursday night at Medicine Bar in London, Zurich. Name this term coined in Tay Selassie's 2005 essay, Bye Bye Babar. Authors such as Teju Cole write characters of this term which denote a way of being African in the world. It's going to be like, Africane. Afropolitan, okay. One of the most prominent uses of Afropolitanism is in this book about Efemelu and Obinze's parallel lives. This Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie book often promotes the fictional bug recipe. This one's probably going to be purple hibiscus. Americana. Oh no. Colin Adichie from this country, Nigeria. Okay. The prose style of this novel based on the Geraldry letter. Name this book a prize letter novel, which ends in the title character being sentenced to death after the shootout in Glenrowan. So this is Scotland. Let's go with, yeah, so title character. So, Booker Prize winning novel. This could be, I don't think it's, no, House for Mr. Biswas didn't win the Booker Prize. Oh, shoot. It's probably, could be very, very recent. No, it's not recent. It was a 2011 pick. I'm trying to think of the Booker Prize winning novels. Yeah, it's completely wrong, but House of Mr. Biswas. It didn't even win the Booker Prize. True History of the Kelly Gang. Yeah, this Australian writer. Yeah, who won the Booker Prize? Patrick White won the Nobel Prize. I don't think he won the Booker Prize. Peter Carey! Oh! Carey won this other Booker Prize winner, Oscar Lucinda. Okay. This character departs El Dorado with their 100 red sheep, still pining after his love, Cunegonde. Name this title character by a novel by Voltaire. It's going to be Candide, Dr. Pangloss. And then Pangloss's optimism is unaffected by his catching of this disfiguring disease from Paquette. Cholera, syphilis. Pangloss's syphilis is cured by this religious character who saves Candide from being executed. Calling after the army. I can't remember the name. Jacques the Anabaptist. Okay. Remember this family you wrote a novel about Heathcliff's futile love for Catherine Earnshaw. Give this real life surname of the aforementioned author of Wuthering Heights and her sister wrote Jane Eyre. That's Charlotte Bronte. Their real life surname. And then the Bronte sisters all use this pseudonym as Belle. And then, after abandoning the worlds of Angrier in their early teens, Emily and Anne Bronte often wrote about this fictional country is ruled by Julius, Brenzida, and Colton of Galdine, and south of it. Okay, what do you think? Can't think of it. Gondal. This work blames Shaftesbury for rebellion, depicts George Villiers as the unfaithful servant Zimri. Name the satirical poem that uses the tale of King David as an allegory to events like Popish Blind Monmouth Rebellion. So this is that one by by John Dryden that we had yesterday. What the hell is that one called? It's that John Dryden work that we just had yesterday, but I can't remember. Absalom and Achitophel, yeah, and then this English author, and yep, and yeah, John Dryden. And then another work by Dryden uses different animals to depict religious orders in like Church of England and Anabaptists, and is partly titled after this animal, John Bagheera Panther. Okay, Charles Simic won the 1990 Pulitzer Prize for a collection of poems for this form titled The World Doesn't End. Name this type of poetry that uses blocks of text instead of lines. This term more generally identifies a type of writing contrasted with verse. Uses blocks of text instead of lines. What is that called? What is it? Prose poetry, of course it is. That's an oxymoron, by the way, prose poetry. An oft anthologized prose poem by Caroline Forche is titled For a Man of This Rank Who Shows a Speaker a Bag of Severed Ears. This is the rank of the patriarch of the Sartoris family who appears in Faulkner works like Rose for Emily. Let's go with Sergeant as Colonel. Oh well. Prose poems about various objects appear in this poet's collection. Tender Buttons, which this woman wrote the line Rose of Rose of Rose, Gertrude Stein. Okay, for 10 points each, name these authors who wrote about people who made their living off of playing cards. This author wrote about Frankie, who gains the nickname Frankie Machine and for his card dealing ability in his novel The Man with the Golden Arm, Nelson Algren. And then the Swede starts a violent argument about whether Johnny cheated at cards in the Blue Hotel, surveyed by this American author, Red Badge of Courage, Stephen Crane. And then a photograph by Richard Drew inspired this novel. That's going to be Falling Man. This collection of poems expresses the speaker's desire for a book of verses underneath the bale, a jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and the ale for 10 points each. Name this collection of poems that was translated for Persian by Ella Fitzgerald. That's the, Rubaiyat. And then name this poet who wrote the Rubaiyat. That's Omar Khayyam. And then the poems in the Rubaiyat are this type, 4 lines, and an Abba rhyme scheme. Do they want quatrain or clerihew? I'm gonna say they want clerihew. And of course it's quatrain, yeah. Like quatrains is English, like Rubaiyat should have been quatrain. Name the following East Asian poets. This prolific Korean poet wrote 7,000 Lives, considered likely winner of the Nobel Prize, although he has yet to win. Yeah, nope, I'm not gonna have an answer for that one. Ko-un. This master of the haiku and ranga forms are haiku about the fog jumping the palm, narrow road in deep north. Let's go with Kinsaburo Oe. Mitsuo Basho, of course. This Tang Dynasty poem of autumn meditation, sign of autumn rain, sign of wagons. Yeah, I can't think of it. Du Fu. In this novel, the servant Chrysophene brews a magic potion and practices obia. Name this novel about Antoinette Costaway solitary confinement as mad woman in the attic. That's the Bertha Mason. I mean, is it called Bertha Mason or is it just called like Mason? Like they want. Oh, Wide Sargasso Sea. Oh, for Christ's sakes. Of course, because that's Jane Eyre. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so bad. I should have had that one. Oh my god. Prequel to... Oh my god. Differences from Wuthering Heights. The same story takes place at this location. This, Thornfield Hall. Oh no, Thrushcross Grange. They wanted the Wuthering Heights setting, not the Jane Eyre setting. Whoops. The incredible, talented Bronte family includes this author. This author of a novel about Gilmark and Helen Graham, Tent to Wildfell Hall. It's Anne Bronte. Okay. I didn't mention Jean Rhys at all, ironically. This man's maid, Ursula Bourne, is secretly married to his stepson, Captain Ralph Patton. Name this character from a novel who was to marry the recently deceased Mrs. Ferrars, a woman being blackmailed by Dr. James Shepard. Shepard then kills this man and is exposed by Shepard's neighbor, who is busy cultivating vegetable marrows in supposed retirement. Can't think of it. It is Roger Ackroyd, yep, so Agatha Christie. And then Murder of Roger Ackroyd is perhaps best known for this infamous twist ending, which was attacked by some critics at the time as blatantly unfair literary device. It's gonna be like whodunit or like unmasking. What do they want me to put down? Like the narrator is the killer. Oh. At one point, this character survives being raped and disemboweled by marauding Bulgars, and she also escapes marriage to the governor of Buenos Aires and slavery in Constantinople. Wow, this goes all around the world. Identify this resident of the Westphalian castle of Baron Thunder 10 Trunk, who, despite the loss of her beauty, ends up marrying the protagonist in all in which she appears. This is, this could be, yeah, I can't think of this one. Cunegonde. Cunegonde appears in this satire written by Voltaire, whose title character eventually responds to Dr. Pangloss Candide. Again, Candide and his companions Cacambo leave El Dorado on a highly trained jewel-studded red via these creatures, many of which die. No, God. I'm gonna say fox. This is gonna be so sad if it is. It was sheep. Red sheep. Wow. Oh my God. That's rare. The speaker of a poem considers their vast similitude that interlocks all things and shall forever span them and compactly hold and enclose them while in one of these places. Name these places that a poet described all night and at night alone in a pair of poems. That poem heard the low and delicious word death, and one of these places in Out the Cradle Endlessly Rocking. Oh, shoot. I've heard of this title before. Oh, wait, it wants one of these places. Why not? Let's go with the bar. There's beaches. Okay, this American poem with those poems set on the beach with kind of cedar leaves of grass, Walt Whitman. Yeah. Okay, and this poem about Walk Along a New Jersey Beach, A.R. Almans wrote of enjoying the freedom that scalp eludes my grasp, that there is no finality of vision. Ammons declared that he would not run to that easy victory of narrow orders and limited tightness in this poem. I got nothing. Corson's Inlet. Okay. In this play, Franz tries to kill his father, the Count, by locking him in a vault, and also tries to steal his brother's love, Amalia. Name this play in which Carl Moore becomes part of the titular group of outlaws after he's cursed by his father, but willingly surrenders to the law of the death of his family. So they want this play. Okay. Titular group of outlaws. Let's see. I can't think of it. The Robbers. Okay. This German wrote The Robbers, the drama play Wilhelm Tell. Ode to Joy, Friedrich Schiller. And then we get Schiller wrote this trilogy of plays about the namesake 30 Years War general whose brutality shows much Octavio. Okay, namesake 30 Years War general. This can be like Carl Gustav or like Wallenstein. I think of when I always get Wallenstein and Wallander mixed up because I keep thinking that he's World War II. And should have got that one. This poet was inspired by Walt Whitman to write futuristic odes under the name Alvaro de Campos. Named this early 20th century poem, whose heroine of Ricardo Rice. It was the basis for a 1986 novel. Is this Pablo Neruda? Because I know that name. Or is it Jose Echegaray? Fernando Pessoa. That novel was written by this Portuguese novelist who died in 2010. This is going to be Jose Saramago. And then one of Saramago's best-known novels, who tells the story of the Gospels from the perspective of this man, their protagonist in the Bible. This man tells of the parables of the prodigal son and the Good Samaritan. That's God. It was Jesus. Yeah, of course. That's what I meant to say. Oh well. In this novel, the narrator and Minami help a Korean boy they named Lee move a large stone to serve as a monument to one of their comrades. Name this work, which a group of 15 adolescent boys go in a rural village, praying by sound and abandoned by the villagers. This isn't. No, Korean boy. This isn't Lord of the Flies. I don't have an answer. Nip the buds, shoot the kids. In addition to writing Nothing About Shoot the Kids, this author also wrote about Mitsuna's brother Takashi losing the Emperor, the Silent Cry. Well, this is going to be some Korean author. Like, I'm not going to know this one. That one was Kentaro! Oh, wait! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, my God. You can't make this up. Oh, my God. And this other semi-autobiographical OA work, Bird has come to terms with his brain damage, son in the process of reversing girlfriend Himiko and Drix. I can't remember the title. Yeah, Personal Matter. This play centers on Nero's sudden obsession with the title character's fiancée, Julia. Name this play in which Nero pretends to his mother, Agrippina, that, oh wait, we had this yesterday, right? That he will rent in his pursuit, but it actually has the title character killed off stage. That's, yeah, we had this the other day, didn't we? Britannicus. No, we didn't have it the other day, but we had someone. Britannicus, this 17th century. Okay, Andrew, yeah, 17th century French playwright. Is this going to be. Could be is it Jean Racine, Francois Rabelais, or Pierre Corneille? Let's go with Andrew Mock. I mean, like, Racine did a lot of, like, ancient works, so I'll go with Racine. It was Racine. And this other play by Jean Racine, wife of Theseus, is this going to be Phaedra or Iphigenia? Let's go with Phaedra. And it was Phaedra, I picked the right one. Alright, characters in this novel include the twins Manuel and Esteban, the former of whom develops a crush on the actress Camilla Percol, who herself is the long-term mistress of the Viceroy. For 10 points each, identify this novel in which Brother Juniper is burned at the stake for writing a tract claiming that the collapse of the title structure was. Now is the time for Bridge of San Luis Rey. And then Bridge of San Luis, this American author, Thornton Wilder. And then this church organist and choir director angrily refers to existence of ignorance and blindness in third act of our town. Yeah, I can't remember his name. It was Simon Stimson. Yambo, the protagonist of a novel by this author, struggles to remember the nature of his pre-coma relationship with his assistant Sibylla after he loses all of his memories except those he acquired through reading. Identify this author of the mysterious flame of Queen Loana. Another of his novels centers on a Franciscan detective named William of Baskerville, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Umberto Eco, oh no. Well, William Weaver made English translations of many Eco's novels, which were originally written in this language, Italian. And then much of the second half of Eco's novel, Baudolino, concerns the title character's kingdom. This man from Baudolino once forged a letter on the way to this man's kingdom. Baudolino claims to encounter mythical cyclops of Blemis. This title, Kingdom of this Man. Yeah, I can't think of it. Prester John. Jean screams after witnessing the housewife. Okay, it's probably Jean because it's a woman. Jean screams after witnessing the housewife carry her bloody can in this play. In this play, which all the civilians of a small town, except for Berenger, turn into some huge horned animals. This is gonna be, what's that called? It's gonna be like, it's the Ionesco's elephant, right? Rhinoceros. Oh my god, Douglas. Oh my god, that's what I meant to say. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then, yeah, Eugene Ionesco. Oh my god. I can't believe I said elephant instead of rhinoceros. That's so bad. This is what happens when you're... Oh my god. I've been playing way too much geography quizzes on Huge Quiz, and I'm so rusty and everything else. I really gotta get back on track. Oh boy. And this Ionesco play, that's gonna be Bald Soprano. And it was not, it was the lesson. Oh well. The narrator of this novel removes fancy adjectives from Pasquale's plagiarized news bulletins for Radio Panamericana. Name this Mary Vargas Llosa novel about, what's that one called? The title Divorce Relatives. What's the name of that? Oh my god. Oh god. I know, no, it's not. No, it's, oh no, what's the title? Aunt Julia and the Scriptwriter. Mary Vargas Llosa feuded with this author after her fight in 1976. This author wrote about the fictional town Macondo and Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. It's just like that. I guess whenever it types, I guess for Hispanics, it's always, you have to type in Garcia, and Garcia's the, like Garcia Lorca. It wanted me to type in Garcia Lorca. It wants me to type in Garcia Marquez. Vargas Llosa's novel, The Feast of the Goats, is partially named by a dictator of this country, Peru. Dominican Republic? Oh my god, if only it said Rafael Trujillo. If it said Rafael Trujillo in the clue, I would have gotten that. At the end of the novel he appears in, this man's body is found with his boots on. Name this naval officer whose boat is torpedoed, after which he hallucinates landing on a rock and trying to survive before later turning out to be dead all along. Naval officer. Let's try, Jack Aubrey. Pincher Martin. Okay, Pincher Martin was written by this English author about Ralph James. Okay, William Golding. And then in War of the Flies, Jack says sucks to this condition of piggy blindness. Asthma. Oh, I was thinking the glasses. Like, it's not his obesity or poor eyesight. Read the effing question, Douglas. Central household in this novel is managed by a woman whose name means Splendid Phoenix. Name this novel which the protagonist, born with a piece of jade in his mouth, is forced by his family into an arranged marriage, causing his cousin to waste away dying of grief. His name means Splendid Phoenix. This is gonna be like, Beloved? Dream of the Red Chamber. Oh, okay, yeah. This language, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chinese, right? Near the end of the novel, Bayou was guided through a dream by this type of person, whom Bayou is destined to accompany. Earlier, this type of person given a prize golden locket to Banshai. This type of person. Let's go with, pregnant woman. A Buddhist monk. That was such a stupid answer. Oh my god. The line "One day I am thinking of a color orange" begins a poem titled "For Not Being a Creator of These Objects," whose speaker sees one titled "Sardines." Name these objects, for one of which titles a John Ashbery poem, begins the right hand, the bigger head. Oh shoot. I can't think of it. Yeah, paintings. In his collection Angel of Yaw, this poet provides a mock definition of a painting. An Ashbery quote titles this author's novel about an American student and poet in Spain during the 2004 Madrid bombings. So this is very recent. Let's try... Okay, yeah, this is probably gonna be someone I've never heard of, so... Ben Lerner, yeah, not getting that one. Ashbery and Frank O'Hara were members of a school of poetry named for this city. MLS is the new classist, that's New York. Oops, New York. Alas, poor New York. I knew him well. One of the earliest exposés of this regime was a novel that ends with a woman running into a snowstorm with food and clothes for a political agitator who lives in double life as a priest. Name this regime the same novel Bread and Wine. A pretty petty bureaucrat aims to curry the favor of this regime by plotting the assassination of an exiled professor and all the conformist. Name this regime. Uh. Okay, Reign of Terror. And it was Fascist Italy. The paranoid braggadocio informed sector Colonia that Mussolini survived World War II and Numero Zero, the final part of this Italian novel, Name of the Rose, Umberto Eco. And then a scale model originally constructed as part of an architectural exhibition hosted by Mussolini's showcase Nero grandiloquent redesign of Rome in 1951 MGM film adaptation of this Henryk Sienkiewicz novel, Quo Vadis. And then let's get in a novel by this author, Claire's bigoted husband gives her a racial slur as a nickname, not realizing that she is in fact a mixed race. Name this Renaissance author of Quicksand and Quicksand and Passing. Let's go with Langston Hughes as Nella Larson. Okay, Armand throws out his foundling wife because he suspects she's black against the street and Desiree's baby. By this, that's what I was thinking of earlier. Desiree's baby. Short story by this author, The Awakening, Kate Chopin. And then Willie's mixed race husband leaves her to pass as white in a chapter of this novel set during the 1920s. This novel follows the descendants of the Ashanti woman Essie Nefia through the history of American Ghana. Don't think I'm gonna know this one. It was Homegoing. Okay. This novel primarily follows the journey of Cora and Caesar. Identify this 2016 novel, which remains the title System of Safe Houses, which helps many escape aliens in Underground Railroad. And then Underground Railroad, this American author, Colson Whitehead. And then in 2002, Whitehead received this prize, Genus Grant. That's a Pulitzer Prize. MacArthur Fellows Program. Oh. A girl in this poem is chased by a horrible thing which raced sideways while blowing bubbles, while another befriends a stranded star whose raised 5 languid fingers were. Name this alliterative titled poem that concludes, it's always ourselves we find the sea. Can't think of it. Is it Maggie and Millie and Molly and May? This American poet of Maggie and Millie and Molly and May and anyone lived in Pretty Town Hale disregarded conventional capitalization rules. Yeah, I got nothing. Could be anyone. Oh my god, I should've. It's all lowercase. I should've picked up on that. Oh my god. And another poem Cummings wrote about this character refuses to kiss a flag. This title character whose warmest heart recoiled at war is more brave than a more bond to you. Why not? Let's go Uncle Sam Olaf. Okay. Alan Moore's Watchmen is one of works in this medium for 10 points each. Give this medium a storytelling, a long-form version more popular than they often... Yeah, it's comics, right? It's comics. Comics. Action. Comics, no. Or political... no. Oh my god. Graphic novels. Oh. Douglas, why didn't you think of that? This graphic novel by Art Spiegelman, Meals. We did like a small project on Meals when I was in high school in my LEAP class. It was, read Meals and we did like a little project on it. This man popularized the term graphic novel. That's what's his name? Yeah, that's, isn't that, no, it's not William Gibson, it's, like, oh my god, what's his name? No, I can't remember. Will Eisner, yeah, alright. As an infant, the protagonist of this novel is discovered by G. Harold next to a punch card marked Pass All, Fail All for 10 points each. And identify this novel, whose title character is raised by Max Spielman and attempts to save New Tammany College and Quiet Rhymes a fellow as a grand tutor. Yeah, I got nothing. As Giles Goat Boy. This postmodern novelist wrote the Saltweed Factor and Giles Goat Boy. Again, got nothing. John Barth, yeah. And Giles Goat. I thought John Barth was. Oh no, I'm thinking of John Buchan, yeah. Giles Goat Boy has written this figure is Dean O. Flunks, and a short story by Stephen Vincent Benetti, Devil and Dina Webster. Yeah. And yeah, I know this was in the name the author topic and quiz up, but yet again, it's been over 4 years, and yeah, I'm not gonna remember that. A character in this work spitefully likens his father to a broken spider trying to do the quick step and represents the ideal world as a dance floor without collisions. Name is play in which Sam and Haley's friendship is symbolized by a shabby kite. Shabby kite. Yeah, I can't think of it. Master Harold and the Boys, I should have, like, Howie, yeah, I should have thought of that. Yeah, Master Harold is the Boys, written by Ethel Fugard, a compatriot of this author. Yeah, it's one of the, yeah, Nadine Gordimer. And then Fugard and Gordimer both hailed South Africa. Alright, I think I'm going to end this here. It went okay. It was so. I got some, I missed some, but there were some that I easily should have, but I wasn't paying attention at all. But other than that, it went pretty well. So that's it for now.